Fortnite Chapter 4 is coming to a close, and it's rumored to have a massive finale live event, but will that be enough to bring back all the excitement? Ever since Fracture, the timeline of Fortnite has been messy, unconnected, and just really uninteresting. To the general Fortnite player base, they have no idea of what's going on at all. They just follow the live events and the story trailers, neither of which have existed for the past year. Now, when I say story trailers don't exist, I am aware that there are cinematic trailers for each season, but they're literally just showing us animated 3D gameplay, that's it. Chapter 4 Season 2 shows us Mega City falling from the sky and grind rails and motorbikes. Where's the red rift that was like the main focus of the last season? Well, we don't know. Why is Mega City coming through the sky? Again, we don't know. Fortnite never told us who sabotaged the Rift Gate, or they never told us anything else about the Shapeless Man, even though he was built up to be like the main enemy and the main antagonist of the Oathbound and Stellan, which, by the way, they disappeared without any reason as well. And Season 3 managed to do the exact same thing. Why was the island breaking apart? Well, we're not going to tell you that in the story trailer. You can just find one pissy little piece of dialogue to create your perfect timeline. Why was there an ancient civilization beneath our feet the entire time? Well, again, I don't know, but there's some reason. Oh, and here's some raptors you can ride and some jungle vines with the exact same mechanics from last season. I mean, it's simply just not good enough. Every time there's a debate as to whether the storyline is actually good, I say that it was good up until the Chrome season. Chapter 3 Season 4 is the prime example of how to completely ruin a good story. Let's take out all the characters that people care about, let's make the enemy someone we've never heard of before, let's have her plot be repeating this same cube story of darkness corrupting the island throughout the season, and on top of that, build up hype through the season's story quests and then have a massive live event that doesn't connect to any of that, but instead it makes us do chores for an hour and then watch the world we've spent the last 4 years on blow up in a matter of 2 minutes. I mean, we didn't even get to play that part. Another big issue with Chapter 3 Season 4 and many other seasons that have lacked greatly in terms of storyline is not specifically the content or the information that we got, but it's the way in which it is spaced out. It's the biggest problem with seasons like this. They have awesome beginnings and endings, but such a dull middle. This is one of the driving factors that caused nearly no one to enjoy the last Fortnite season. Not only was storyline content completely lacking, but the biggest update we got was quite literally something players could do themselves. We waited the whole season for an update, then we got one where they literally just put a whopping 2 sprays on a rock. For a summer update, that's not nearly enough. How that season should have gone is that it began with the cinematic trailer, maybe with the Sloane section being a little less obvious. Then about 2 weeks in, we would get Sloane dialogue of her recovering from living in the jungle. 2 weeks after, we hear about the apparatus and we start to get information from Optimus Prime about the island's incoming collapse. The following update, we get the Eclipse dialogue and it starts to build up to the finale of the season. And finally, we should get a distressed call from Dr. Sloane, saying that a longtime enemy of hers is headed for the island with the cube cradle at his assistance, causing Season 4's eclipse. Notice how the baseline of that, other than just a few extra details, is what we actually did get last season, but it being properly spaced out and genuinely built up upon makes it sound a hell of a lot more intriguing. It gives people something to talk about. It gives creators like myself videos to post once every week or so, instead of having a single day where we have to pump out 5 videos at the start and end of the season because that's the only time we get good new content. I'm not even saying it's just the content creators that get a bad rap. I'm sure running a business like this for Epic Games is super taxing as well. Instead of evenly spacing out the voice-acted quests, they need to record it in large, overwhelming quantities that would most definitely be very difficult to manage. Instead of having 6 months to make a 10-minute live event, they need to make one massive one at the very end that feels super rushed. And that's where we lead into our final and central topic, the end of Chapter 4 live event. The end of Chapter 4 live event is 100% something we need to talk about. Not only does it run the massive risk of being yet another Fracture, but by the way things are going, it's looking like this event might not even have any voice acting. A voice actor strike is currently affecting Epic Games so heavily, so they might not be up for the task of working on Chapter 4's ultimate finale. The leaks for the end event show that grind rails will be involved somehow, which totally gives me the vibe of a Fracture type event where we're just collecting stuff. Imagine that's all the heist is. We literally just collect stuff like coins, like 0-point fragments, and return them to Sloane. Like, wow, awesome. If Fortnite doesn't deliver an absolute banger for this upcoming live event, imagine how disappointed everyone will be. We've waited almost an entire year for just some form of a Fortnite live event, because I know that if you're watching this far into the video, you do miss that feeling. You miss getting on an hour before the event and freaking out that you might not get into the lobby. You miss the feeling of watching cool shit happen with all your friends in a lobby freaking the actual out. And do you know why? It's because there's no other game anything remotely close to it. Fortnite live events are something astonishing, like no other company has ever pulled off anything, again, remotely close to it. If they don't hit us with an absolute banger of a live event, if they just totally drop the ball with live events in general, the spark that got you so hooked into this game at the very beginning is close to gone. And if there's any hope to save it, it all lies in the Chapter 5 live event coming this December.